I have never struggled so hard to review a knife as I have with this guy here. There's usually a point where you can boil something down to, you know, the practical reason behind it. This very silly Space Force themed K-bar is still a pretty decent utility knife that you could take with you into the bush and use it if you can get past its powder blue handle and the fact that it's, you know, latching onto the cred of the new army branch or the new military branch where the troops are called guardians. You know, this is like a probably fairly legitimate martial arts tool. This is a little short wakizashi type sword, you know. You know, if you were into martial arts, this is probably semi-authentic, and I don't know, you could probably use this to defend your home in the instant of a home invasion fantasy. You know. But this guy, I don't even know what to say, apart from what everyone else says, which is, it's big. And then you know what the conversation goes from there? There's two types of people. Look how big this knife is, and then it branches off into, a funny big knife, choppy, big. Or, look how big this knife is, and I'm going to use it to defend my freedom in martial combat. And that's the two people who are going to get a kick out of this knife. And, you know, I can be that first guy a little bit. I can never be that second guy, because I think knife self-defense is way more specialized than companies like Cold Steel, who put self-defense knives on the open market very willingly, would like to admit. But anyway, I can definitely be that first guy a little bit. And I was for the first probably day or so that I had this guy around. But then that wore off. Then it's just like, I've got this giant knife, I've got to do a review on it. And it's kind of like, right now it's in, I think, its best role, which is, this isn't my knife, it's come from Advanced Knife Bro. It's like a pass-around knife. Hey, check out the Espada. Look how big it is. It's big, isn't it? Anyway, who wants it now? Because that's kind of how it is for me. It's a very silly knife, and to use it in earnest, you really need to subscribe and adopt to that Cold Steel logic. You know, that logic where you can be built like Grimace and yet still run an earnest self-defense type training course. You know, that logic where you just kind of like, you just do it. Yep, gonna defend myself with the XL Espada. And I just think that'd be a really bad idea. Like, this is not coming from someone with any sort of knife training, as probably all of you are the same, have no knife training. But I just feel like there's a lot of things you could get that would be better at this for that than this at that. What it has going for it, and I'm going to play the devil's advocate of talking for a few seconds about defending yourself with a knife. I'm sorry, I can barely even. I almost can't even. It's got great reach. That tip is very far from my body right now. I could just imagine, you know, you're getting cornered by some hoodlums. You can definitely be with your back to the wire mesh fence in the alley, like, stay back, stay back. And yeah, they'll have a few millimeters extra to cross before they take your big stupid knife from you and probably stab you with it. Because yeah, it does have greater reach than, it's got about the same reach as my katana, my little mini katana. So there's something, isn't it? Reach, that's good.
I can get you one.
Secretion, ease of secretion. Well, I think if you are treating this as a pocket knife, that doesn't matter at all. Because if you're treating this as a pocket knife, you're probably a 2003 Matrix nerd and you're wearing a trench coat, and if that's the case, you could secrete this in its sheath down your pant leg anyway, because this does not fit in any normal person's pockets. This hangs a good few inches of shiny aluminium donkey dick out of your pocket that everyone is going to say, hey man, what is that? Is that a dildo in your pocket? And you'll be like, oh no, it's something much more embarrassing. It's a giant folding knife. Click. So I don't understand this as even a self-defense tool. I mean, I suppose it's got some go away to it. You there, get away from my son's quad bike. That being said, I don't think you're going to have too many problems with people getting near you if it gets around that you carry this in your pocket. The only people who will be near you are, I guess, other large knife enthusiasts.
And it's actually the knife you carry daily, correct?
Yeah. I carry a 7.5 inch Espada. I carry 2 vaqueros. And I usually carry a Samurai Laredo Bowie as well.
So you are well prepared for any situation.
You know, at this point I was going to throw in a real kind of rapid fire gag. I was going to be like, yeah, except for sex with a woman, when Zach finished saying ready for anything. But then I thought I can't really say that because I think it's pretty apparent that Lynn Thompson definitely fucks. And I just care too much about my viewer base to mislead you like that. So trying to review it as a knife has almost been impossible. What I can say about it is that it is very well made. It is made of S35VN. It uses the triad lock and everything is tight. And that is that's like a fair achievement in mechanics and in leverage with giant folding tools like this. Tolerances are hard to get when you're going for big tools that are even sort of somewhat going to be for impact or for bold gestures at the very least. So it's very, very well made. I don't want this video to be an entire roast on this knife, really, because it's well put together. The blade's made of S35VN steel, and it came even after Mark's, dickery with it himself, a pretty sharp edge. So this still lasts a good long time. And I've used it for all sorts of dirty cutting, and it's still got definitely an edge on it that you would cut yourself if you raked your finger up and down. So the steel does hold a good edge for a good long time. The handle, then again, it's just veering straight back into the silliness because, yeah, it's got good ergonomics because it's got a two-handed grip because it's a folding combat knife. What else is there? What else does there even say? It's like, you know what, with that giant blade face, Cold Steel Logic guys could probably get some really, really tasteful looking engravings. Like, you could not only have the tough guy man quote, you could actually have Tommy from Peaky Blinders somewhere on that blade. You could have like the full Ned Kelly tribute post there. You could have all sorts of very Cold Steel Logic messages on your blade there. That's probably, that's something that good opportunities for customization, maybe. Here's another one. If you met a woman while you were carrying this and she liked you, then you have found true love. Instantly, it is known. It is true. That's probably, it's like it's like gaydar, but for Kyles kind of thing. If you meet someone with this in your pocket, and she knows it's there and she still likes you, then marry that woman, because this is true north to that love. That would be a love that you could never get anywhere else. The aluminium's nice. They've polished it quite well. The G10's nice. It's smooth G10. Again, the grip of the two-handed folding knife handle is doing the extra retention for you. It's got the Emerson plate. Well, so it's not the Emerson Wave. It's the plate. It's the thumb plate. So you could, in I'm assuming ladder-based combat where you're painting and then you get attacked by something, you can walk this guy open with your thumb and get it open and defend yourself with your other hand. And it does catch a pocket and Emerson itself open as well when you do partially conceal this in even a deep trouser pocket. So yeah, there are some ideas here that aren't all horrible. It's just too big. It's too big to be anything but kind of a joke or an insane person's knife. So I've just had a real tricky time with it, to be honest. The fun kind of lasted a day or so. And then it's like, now it's just kind of there. And I mean, you could have someone new, like when you've got new people coming over who are interested in your knives, which I would love to meet even one of those people. But I'd be like, oh, hey, you want to check out the really big one? And they'd be like, oh, yeah. And you'd go like that. And they'd be like, oh, wow. And then you'd go like that. And they'd play with it for a bit. And they'd be like, yeah, it is big. Anyway, what do you want to do now? That's kind of how that'll go. So, wow, what a poorly structured review. All I can say is, good for a bit of dickery. Reviewer's block. Fuck, this is hard. Bricky, you sit here listening to me review things all the time. What do you think I'm missing here?
I think that when you hold that folding knife, you feel for a few seconds a man awakened. Your awkwardness is futile resistance. Take the red pill and embrace Espada life. Buy a giant truck and never put anything in the back of it. Then film all your videos from inside it wearing the trucker hat. Go to Pacific Island tourist traps and haggle with the vendors already selling at low prices. Argue on Facebook with strangers about China. Grow a goatee beard and wear a sleeveless shirt. Buy a Staffordshire Terrier, and tell anyone who will listen that it is a good guard dog. Get a tribal tattoo on your arm, and whenever you drive anywhere, make sure you rest your arm out the window so everyone sees it. Your mark will be the Punisher skull. Your song will be Semi-Charmed Life by Third Eye Blind. Never cry, apart from suddenly after 3 beers, and then be really angry and go missing and worry all of your friends. Put a loud exhaust on your car. You will seize pedestrians' attention, then do nothing with it but drive away. Play music through your phone speaker in public places. The world will experience you, involuntarily, when you pour lemonade for people. Put your thumb over the top of the bottle so it flows over it on its way into their glass. Let off fireworks sporadically over long weekends so all the dogs in town run away. Whistle, whistle all the time. Everyone loves people and whistle.
Well, some of those were oddly specific.
Espada life, motherfuckers. super memes on your Instagram. Get into altercations with other dads at children's sports games. You are a graduate of the School of Hard Knocks and the School of Life. Give people unprovoked shoulder rubs. Tell women you don't know to smile, because they would look much better if they did. Carry a cold steel Espada in earnest.